Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this video. This is week 5, and in this video, we are going to be talking about structures, union, arrays, and then function. Right. So, um, let's start. Let me clear everything here. All right. So once again, this is week 5 of our programming with C++ series. Let's delve in. First thing we're going to be talking about is arrays. And then so arrays. What are arrays? Arrays are um should I say group or collection? Yeah, they are like a group of collection of similar kind of elements, right? So group of integer, group of strings, group of characters. Yeah, the collection of them is what we refer to as an array, right? And then they are used to store multiple values of the same type in a single variable, right? So instead of you declaring the variables one by one, we use arrays. I mean, if they are of the same type, we use arrays. All right. And we are going to be delving in very soon. And let me mention this: arrays are um they are useful, right? Array elements are stored at contiguous memory locations. That is, um, we know that anytime we initialize a variable and declare it, the computer saves or the computer allocates a memory for that variable, right? So instead of we um, creating a variable all the time that is of the same type, creating multiple variables which will create more memory allocation, we put them in an array which will put everything to one variable which will be allocated to just one memory space, right? So at the end of the day, you have saved memory, and then it's going to go a long way of making your programs run faster and all that. All right. So arrays. Now, how do you go about arrays? So the syntax is that you first start with your data type, then you give your array a name. You put your array name there, then you put this square parenthesis. So let me do a comment. So data type, then your array name, then you put this, should I say parenthesis or bracket? Square bracket, yes. You put a square bracket there, and then in between your square brackets, you're going to put in the number of elements that um, you're going to be grouping together, right? So number of elements, right? Then equal to, then you bring your parenthesis. And then in between your parentheses is where the values or whatever that you want to put together is going to be, right? So let's do something. So let's talk about cars. Yes, let's say I want to put a group of cars together, right, in an array. I'm going to start with the data type. Because the cars are names, you're going to use the string data type, right? So string then cars, then you're going to put 4 cars in there, right? So you put 4 is equal to, now remember, there is a collection of the same data type, so we are putting strings together, so we use the double quotation mark. So our first car is BMW. The next car is going to be Benz. Next car will be Ford. And then the last one is going to be Toyota. Okay, good. So Yeah, we have successfully created an array. Now, how do I access the elements or the members? So the stuff in the parentheses over here are what we call the array members, right? And then the array members, each of them have been assigned or given an index, right, or a number that will help you access it, right? And then it starts from 0 to um to the total number of elements minus 1, right? So in this case, the array index is going to start from 0, then this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3, right? So let's say I want to display a car or a name of a car from the array element. How do I go about it? So I do cout, then I put the name of the array here, and I bring my square brackets, and then based on the particular car I want to display, I put the index of it over there. So let's say I want to display Benz, right? Benz is at the index of 1. Remember, we are starting from 0, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Benz is at the index of 1, so I'll put 1 here, right? Now let's run this and see. Okay, good. So realize that we are seeing Benz over here. So cout cars, then your square bracket, and then at the index of 1, what is at the index of 1? Benz. So when I put 0 there and I run it, I'm going to get BMW. And I put 2 there and I run it, I'm going to get Ford. And when I put 3 there, I'm going to get Toyota. So take note, the indexing of an array starts from 0. It always starts from 0, right? And we can also go in the negative way. That is, if this starts from 0, right? If this starts from 0, then I want to access the last one. I can either do 3, we all know that, or I can do -1. That is, we are going back. You understand? So let's try that and see. -1, -1, okay, alright. So I believe we have a problem. Okay, I actually haven't tried that. I mean, okay, it's something you can do in Python, so I thought as much. Thought that you could do it in C++. Alright, never mind. But then when you go into Python, you can do that. When you put -1 there and then you run it, it's going to access the last element. When you put -2, it's going to access this. -3 is going to access this, right? So yeah, that's just by the way. Now, let's say I want to display the I want to display every list or every array member, right? I can do that in 2 ways. One way is to type this line of code several times, and then anytime I do that, I'll change the index of it. So I'll put 1 here, now copy and paste again, then 2, then 3. Then when I run it, I'm going to get all the lists displayed. That's just one way. The other way is the use of loops, right? And we looked at loops in the previous video, right? You can check it out. We looked at loops in the previous video. So which kind of loops are we going to be using in particular? I'm going to be using the for loops, right? Or the for loop. This is how it goes. So for, then int I is equal to 0, because we want to start from 0. Then your termination, then so far as int is less than 5, right? So far as int is less than 5, sorry, so far as I is less than 5, I will increase by 1. The increment operator, remember that, right? Good. So now what do I want to what do I want to do while the loop is going on? So I want to display the elements of the cars, right? But then instead of me putting a specific value there, I'm going to put I there. You understand? So that's when I runs for the first time. For the first time it runs, I is going to be 0. So it's going to display this. And then when it runs again, I is going to be increased by 1. So I will become 1 and then it will display this. And when it runs again, it's going to run for about 4 times or 5 times. And when it runs again, I increases to 2. And then when I increases to 2, it displays the Ford. And when it runs again, I increases to 4. Sorry, 3. I increases to 3. Yeah, and it's going to display this. So I think I should change this to 4. Okay, yeah. So the moment I is equal to 4, the loop stops running, right? So ideally we are going to be displaying from 0. We're going to be counting from 0 to 3, right? So let's run that and see. Yeah, good. So as you can see, everything is clumped together, and that's because I didn't bring the end line. So let me just do that. Yeah, and run it all over again. Good. So you can see that all the elements in the array are being displayed over here. All right. So yeah, that is it for arrays. Let's go on to the next topic, or the next section for this um series. Okay, so we'll be talking about the next thing we'll be talking about are structures. So let me comment this. Let me comment this. um wow. Let me comment this. Okay, so next thing I'm going to be talking about is structures. Now, what are structures? So structures are they are a way of grouping several related variables into one place, right? And it allows us to combine variables of different types under one name. Yeah, so that's the interesting thing about structures. It helps you combine different variables of different types under one name, and it is useful when you want to model real world entities. So for example, let's say I'm creating a system for a student, let's say an admission system, right? Or yes, I'll need the student's name, ID, and all those other stuff, right? So let's model that over here. Now for structures, we normally declare structures outside the main function, and then we start with the keyword struct. So struct, which is short for structure. So I'm going to create a structure for a student. So student, yeah, and in the structure I'm going to need the student's name. So I create a variable name, yeah, a variable name. Then let's say the age, and then we do a float of the student's GPA. Yeah, good. So yeah, we have our struct over here, and then it's a structure of students, and we have a string name, int age, and then float GPA. So realize that we have different data types over here, or under the variable student. All right, so um let's see something. um okay, so we have our structure name student, right? How do we um access it, or access the members of a structure, or when we want to give it some values or something, right? So we do that in the main function, and then we start with the structure name that we've given to our structure, that's a student. So student, then we put a dot. No, not yet. Yeah, so student, then the variable name, right? So basically the structure becomes a new variable, a new variable type. Yeah, let me say like that. So then the student here, it's a new variable type. So the variable type is student, right? So we are creating another variable, let's say a variable for Eben, right? So that is our new variable. Then how do we assign values to the structure, the members of the structure? So we do that by doing Eben dot, right? Then we realize that when I do the dot, I saw the name, age, GPA. So name, I'm telling you the name is a string, right? So Eben. Then I do Eben dot age. Let me put 99. Then Eben dot GPA. Yeah, I'm going to put 4.0 here, because why not? Good. And then, so that is how we've assigned values to the data types over here, or the variables over here. Then the good thing about structure is that you can assign multiple values under different names, so far as the names are different. So you can do students, um let's say Kofi. So Kofi becomes my variable. Then Kofi dot name, right, is equal to Kofi. Then Kofi dot age is equal to 70. Then Kofi dot GPA will be let me give him 3.90, because why not? Yeah, so you can do that for multiple students, right? That's the advantage of struct. Now when I want to display it, right, I'll do C out, then I put Eben dot name, or whatever parameter I want to show, then I run it. So that is it about struct. Yeah, the next thing we'll be talking about is union. Union. So union is very very similar to struct, just that for union you can't do any multiple um assigning of variable to it. It only takes one variable, or one allocation, because it does just one memory allocation for everything. So this is how we go about union. um let's say union. Yeah, start with the keyword union, then data, then bring your, so let me do int I and int let me do float f. So the thing about union is that when you assign, you can only assign a value to just one of the variables in there. When you assign another value to the other variable, the other one gets compromised, right? This is what I mean. Let me do that. So data, right, then d for short. So d dot I, just as the way we did with the struct. So d dot I is going to be equal to, since an integer, I'll put 10 over there. Good. Then I'll display this. I'll put d dot I is equal to d dot I, right, and l. Then let's intentionally do this. D dot f is equal to 5.5, right? I'll display it. D dot f is equal to d dot f, end line. Then I'm going to display di after assigning a value to df, and we'll see what will happen over here. So di, then after assigning f, right, is equal to d dot I. Let's run this and see. Good. So as you can see, d dot I was 10. That's initially. Then I assigned the value to the float f. That's d dot f 5.5. And then when I displayed that, I got 5.5. But then we realized that when I displayed d dot I again, I'm not getting 10, which is not supposed to be so, because this is a union, right? Once I assign a value to the other variable in the union, because everything is having just one memory allocation, it's having the same memory allocation, it is overwritten. That is, the d dot f value takes over the d dot I, it overwrites it, right? So therefore there is nothing, there is no more 10 in the d dot I or in the data memory space, right? It has been taken over by the d dot f, that's the 5.5. That is why when I run it again, I'm getting this series of numbers, which I have no idea what it is. But then yeah, that is it for union. So the difference between union and then struct is that for struct you can um, declare and initialize multiple variables in there, and then you are not going to get anything like this. But for union, once you assign a value to another variable, the initial one gets overwritten, and therefore you'll be getting unpredictable or series of numbers or whatever it is called over here. Okay, so far we've looked at arrays, structures, and then union. Right, due to the length of this video, I'm going to continue with functions in another video. Alright, thank you for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Have a good day.